Hi everyone, so we're taking a look at an older figure here, Blade Jack form. I picked this up for like 398 to 400 Hong Kong dollars at Figuarts 1997, and this is a pretty old figure, but it's usually quite expensive, like more so than this price. I was like, yeah, that's alright. I kind of like Jack form more than King form anyway, and it's actually more accessories in here than King form, so I don't have the final form for Blade. This is a good substitute for me. If you've not seen my review of the original Blade figure, back then when it came out, I thought it was positively quite good compared to some of the other Figuarts and Rider Figuarts in general. Yes, it has aged just a little bit, the head seems a little bit small, and some people are hoping for a revision, a real bone version of Blade right now, but I do think that the original figure is okay, and it was recently released along with the CO box art 20th anniversary box art, so he's not too hard to get anymore. But how well does this figure hold up compared to some of the other figures that we've had today? This figure was released back in 2014 and a lot has changed since then, at least for all the design philosophies. Looking at this figure now, for the most part he reuses a lot from the original figure. When I first reviewed that a long time ago, one of the first Figuarts I reviewed, I thought it was a pretty good figure, a definite standout from all the other SH Figuarts. So how does that hold up? Well, that depends how this one holds up, as it uses a lot of the same parts. Looking from the top right there, the yellow and gold is quite nicely done. Now I don't like gold myself, but this is a darker color and it's part of the suit design, so that's alright. I actually prefer this over his King form because that was just a bit too much, and the Figuarts doesn't have like any accessories in it. It's like a very bare bones release, whereas this Jack form right here has a lot of the good upgrades, as well as looking quite a lot more powerful than his regular form, so I do like this. The pattern and sculpt on the helmet there is quite nice underneath this transparent plastic, and look on his shoulder pads, got the Spade logo there, and that's quite nice. On the torso there, the biggest difference is of course this molding and his chest armor, that looks quite good. So he does feature a lot of the stuff from newer Figuarts. For example, this belt piece here is not permanently attached to his hip piece. That's really good. That means I could swap this out with the Decker driver if I wanted to. Moving around the back here, his nicest feature or biggest feature of this form are his wing pieces, and whoa, they can go up quite a lot, and they're all individually articulated. That's really good for posing. It seems the paint job kind of messed up a bit there. That's a bit of a bummer. But it's on the back, so I guess I could cover it and pretend I didn't see that. Moving down to the legs here, the joints are hidden quite well, so that's nice. Yeah, overall, I do like this. Another difference between this and the regular is, of course, you got this gauntlet piece right there for card scanning. Like the Ryuki Figuarts, you can't do anything with this piece here. You can't actually scan the cards in it, put anything in there, and you also can't move this belt buckle around like the Ryuki figures. So if you like play features like that, yeah, it's not here. Accessory wise, apart from the fists already attached to the figure, he also has a pair of spray open hands, a pair of sword holding hands on an angle, and a hand for holding the cards. Just like the regular figure, he also has a sword holding pouch that goes into the side of his belt, a stack of appropriate Rouse cards, and of course the sword itself. I think this one's a bit longer than the regular one. Yep, because it's got this extra tip on the end there, but aside from that, the rest of the body is pretty much the same mold as the regular sword. And much like the regular sword, in order to open this card stack up, you just have to unpeg it like that, as well as the front piece, and then get the alternate piece in there. So just let me see how that should go. Now by default this piece is transparent, but much like the regular figure, this also comes with a sticker sheet there, or shiny stickers. Now if I were to apply this, I'll probably just apply all the backs, and I'll probably apply all the blank cards here. Just, you know, blank cards are probably better than having some sort of logo there, because I don't want those cards to be always these, whereas blank ones I can pretend it's something else. The relation is pretty much going to be the exact same as the original, since again both of it's the same. So head down, head back, head sideways, full rotation here. Shoulder pads are attached to the top of his arm, so they can slide out the way. Arm goes up, down, full rotation here. Elbow joint, full rotation here. Double elbow joint there. Head and a peg and swivel. Stomach goes forward quite a lot, goes backward, sideways, sideways. And full rotation, yeah. Leg goes up, leg goes back. Sideways, double knee joint. Foot goes up, this piece is loose from the rest of the legs. It's good, gets out the way. Toe goes up, goes down. Foot goes sideways, sideways. Please look at the bottom of his shoes. And like I said, these are all individually pinned. Yeah, these are pinned. Oh no. All three pieces can also move back and forth a little bit. I think this figure still holds up with the current Figuarts and all the improvements they've done in the past few years. Mostly because the belt is detachable and not permanently molded to the pants area. And with that also comes along with better molding details, so that's pretty good. The overall articulation is nice, it moves very smoothly, and he can do a lot of different poses. The coloring is also pretty nice as well. Now I have seen some people with the original Blade Figuarts swapping the head out with the head that you got with the Converge, like little candy toy chibi figures with the very detailed heads. So I can see why people would do that, but overall I think the head shape on this is pretty decent. The reason why a lot of people have been swapping them out is because they think the head's a little bit on the small side, but here I think it matches the proportions with the rest of the figure and it looks okay. Maybe it is a little bit smaller than what it is in the show, but just looking on this figure alone, it is pretty good. So with decent paint job, decent molding, decent sculpting, and overall very good articulation, this figure is pretty nice. On top of that, the accessory count is also decent enough. It comes with everything appropriate to him, and that's more than enough for this figure. If you're a Kamen Rider Blade fan, definitely consider picking this one up. It's a pretty decent form, and my personal bias is it definitely looks better than the final King form. Of course, if you're just a Kamen Rider collector who wants to have the original and final forms, then yeah, this is an easy skip. Well, pretty much the exact same figure as the regular Blade, just with the extra wings, different cards that come with it, and a different color scheme. But overall the same figure. And does it hold up? Well, yes, now that I look at it closer, the head does seem a little bit smaller, but the overall paint job, articulation, that's quite nice. And by the release of Blade, along with back then some of the other Ryuki riders, the belt was already removable. It was detachable and separate piece from the rest of the body. That means you can put the Deca drive on this if you really want to, and I do like that that happens here. The overall joints aren't too loose, aren't too tight, the articulation is pretty good overall. He is a little bit on the skinny side, but otherwise, depending on how you pose him and how you take photos of him, he actually looks quite decent even compared to the more modern Figuarts. So I'm still quite happy with this design. Obviously, if they do a revision and you put them side by side, I'm gonna suspect that there's gonna be a big difference. But just on its own, just compared to completely other suits and other riders I released now, I still think this is a decent Figuarts. A little bit on the expensive side, and if you're only collecting main riders, this is an easy skip. Or if you're only completing final forms, this is also a skip as well. Just because I don't have King form right now, I'm using this as a substitute, I think it's okay. If I do eventually get King form, I might be tempted to sell this off and not keep it, but until then, this is a decent figure to have. One other thing about him is applying the stickers on the blade, like the little card slots. You don't need to do that, since you can say, oh, it's just got an empty slot here. I decided to apply the stickers with no patterns on them, just like blank cards. Just because I felt like the more generic look is okay, and I did have to use tweezers. It did get tiring after a while, and but if you're just careful, you can get something that looks pretty decent. Obviously the cards don't look like they're inside the slot because the transparent plastic is underneath the sticker, but it still looks okay for the most part. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the thumbs up button, thumbs down button if you didn't like this figure, and of course leave a comment below on why, how you think about this figure. As always, you can support this channel by sharing this video with other people that you think will find it interesting. As always, take care, have a nice day, I'll see you guys soon.